It's Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get going. How about story number 1? The ATO has received 250,000 tip-offs from the community about tax avoidance and other dishonest behaviours in the past 5 years, leading to tens of millions of dollars of reclaimed taxes.
There were 47,000 tip-offs last year, and ATO Assistant Commissioner Tony Godding said Australians are fed up with dodgy behaviours in the community. He said the tip-offs included taxpayers not declaring income, businesses demanding cash from customers, organisations paying workers in cash to avoid paying tax and super, and not reporting sales. People are also reporting when someone's lifestyle doesn't appear to match their income. The ATO estimates there is around $16 billion in stolen taxes each year, thanks to things like cash jobs. I got to give you one quick example. A hairdresser advertised on Facebook, didn't register her business, operated without an ABN, didn't report her business income in tax returns. Her friend noticed on social media she was wearing very nice clothes, having all these overseas holidays. Friend, clearly not impressed, tipped off the ATO. The hairdresser faces $1 million in penalties.
250,000 tip-offs, Sean, is a huge number. How many of them would actually be followed up, though, by the tax office?
Well, when the ATO gets a tip-off, it cross-checks the information and assesses whether further action is required. A lot of that would be done electronically, I'd imagine. About 90% of tip-offs are deemed worthy of further investigation. Building and construction, cafes and restaurants, and hairdressing and beauty services top the list of industries the ATO was tipped off about last financial year. Tips are coming from other businesses, from customers, members of the community, employees, even family and friends. While Sydney and Melbourne had the most tip-offs, the top 5 regional postcodes that provide tip-offs last financial year at least, all from Queensland.
Okay, moving on to story number 2 now. Sean, and Vocus Group has bought TPG Telecom's fibre network and fixed line enterprise business for $5.25 billion in a deal that its proponents claim will make digital telecommunications more competitive.
The deal allows Vocus to add 24,000 kilometres of TPG's urban fibre network in Australian cities to its own 27,000 kilometres of fibre, some of which is in regional Australia. Basically creates a third fibre network behind Telstra and Optus. Vocus says that will up competition in the market. Now, TPG's happy to get rid of its fibre business. It wants to focus on mobile. It comes after a deal worth $6.3 billion failed last year between the two. Unlike the previous structure, though, this new agreement doesn't include any of TPG's mobile business. If it's approved by regulators, Vocus will operate fibre that connects about 20,000 buildings in Australian capital cities. Around 560 TPG staff will move across. TPG's share price fell 4% yesterday.
Story number 3, earnings at Virgin Australia have jumped by almost a fifth to $519 million, meaning 2 years in a row of profit after more than a decade of deficits.
The growth in underlying earnings released in a statement yesterday compares with a 17% fall at its larger rival Qantas for the 12 months to June 30. However, Virgin didn't release its full accounts, doesn't report an overall profit figure for the year, according to the Fin Review. Virgin Chief Executive Jane Herdlicker said the jump in earnings showed the success of the airline's transformation under its private equity owners, Bain Capital, which acquired the carrier after the company collapsed at the start of the COVID pandemic. Last month, Bain agreed to sell a 25% stake in Virgin to Qatar Airways. If approved, it will allow Virgin to restart long-haul international flights.
Story number 4, Sean. This one is quite spectacular. Elon Musk's SpaceX accomplished a momentous technical feat 24 hours ago by catching a booster rocket with mechanical arms on its return from a test flight. If you haven't seen it, you need to check this out.
The vision is phenomenal. SpaceX launched an unmanned Starship rocket with its super heavy booster. After a brief flight into the atmosphere, the booster broke away from the Starship and descended vertically, slowing its descent with engine blasts. The booster fell directly back to the launch pad, where it was caught by the tower's metal arms amid a roar of smoke and fire, according to a report in the Financial Times. Musk on X said, "The tower has caught the rocket. Big step towards making life multiplanetary was made today. Even in this day and age, what we just saw is magic." The rest of the ship orbited Earth and then splashed into the Indian Ocean as planned.
Last one, story number 5. The biggest study of its kind has found that social media use in teenagers is strongly correlated to higher anxiety and depression.
Academics from Oxford University, who are carrying out the largest global study of teenage mental health based on British data, said their initial research had found about 60% of 16 to 18-year-olds spent between 2 and 4 hours a day on social media sites. They also found a linear relationship between higher rates of anxiety and depression and time spent networking on social media sites. The study found girls report more mental health issues than boys, and the top 5 most frequently used social media platforms are Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, WhatsApp, and YouTube. It concludes that increasing sleep and exercise alone would greatly improve the mental health of this age group.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.